Hey friends, and welcome back to my Decorating 101 channel. If you're here for the first time, it's awesome to see you. And if home decorating, do-it-yourself tutorials, and design trends are your thing, then make sure you subscribe and come back often. You can do so by clicking the button located below on the right side of your screen. And now that introductions are out of the way, let's see why are we here today. I am in London, Ontario, and if you're asking yourself, what is she doing in London, Ontario? Well, great question. I am in a beautiful furniture store, Modern Living, and I have the opportunity of recording several of my do-it-yourself tutorials for the home right here. And I am extremely excited because I will be working with some stunning pieces of furniture and accents for the home. So let's get to work. We are going to decorate a coffee table to give it the designer look that we admire so much in Home Design Specialty magazine. And while that look it's not that hard to achieve, and you'll see how we'll take you there step by step, it is somewhat hard to maintain. So if you have a busy young family, cut yourself some slack and accept it's not always going to be perfect. When decorating our coffee table, there are three elements we need to take into consideration. One of them is height. So as you notice here, I have selected two grouping of two vases for my display, and the tallest one is going to be my tallest point in my display. So from there, I'm only going to go down with my heights. We need a variety of heights to make the display interesting, a minimum of 2 to 3. Now, if you take a step back and you look at the display, definitely it draws attention to it. However, in comparison with the table, the size of the table, you may find the display unbalanced. So that's when the second element comes into the picture, and that is adding depth or weight to your display. The easiest way to do that is with an item that most of us would have around the house, and that is books. You can opt for magazine, like a stack of magazines that you have a subscription for. It doesn't have to be related to home decor. Any topic would do, as long as they bring in some color. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. I'm bringing in these magazines. You want to put them close enough to the vases so they look like they are all together and not too dispersed. Now, take a look again. We definitely added more weight. However, there's a big gap between these, the smaller vase and the magazine. So a gap that we cannot fill in by adding more magazines. If we go up with magazines, it will be too bulky, it will block the view, and it will again be unbalanced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this sphere, which is somewhat a see-through. It does not take too much space visually, but it does add interest, and above all, it adds a different color and a different texture, which brings us to the third element we need to take into consideration, which is texture and color. So if we are to recap, first element, height, we want a variety of. Depth or weight, we want to cover enough surface of the table to make the display balanced. The third element, color or texture, which we have a variety of. Now you will notice I did cheat a little bit when I picked these magazines. I have selected on top a magazine that brings in a little bit of the color of the vase, so it kind of ties it all together. If I had gone with the one underneath, it does create a little bit of noise. It doesn't mean necessarily that it's not going to work, but in this, to display, it's nicely working together. And now we're going to look at a different way of displaying. So I'm just going to leave in the vases. However, I'm going to replace the magazines with two heavy books. If you happen to have them around the house, they're great for decorating. And a little bit more pizzazz with a piece that it's a little bit more luxurious in look. And here it is, our display again. So to recap it all, when decorating our table, we need to take into consideration three elements: height, weight or depth, and color and texture. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you will be back for more. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you soon.